Hello world, how are we today? Enlightening is a subject that is probably a big factor in relation to years to come, and the boundaries that are being integrated into society, how we have had to make choices about what we're going to do with our time, spend our money, where our limitations are, where our limitations will be, and the level of enlightenment that can occur from that. And a lot of the misrepresentation to essentially create what might be seen as unattainable in the concept of enlightenment, which is essentially an ascension of ourselves. What can we get over? What does it take to get over potential enlightenment? So, enlightenment is not the destination, ascension is not a destination. It's a beginning step in regards to how we progress within our existence. What are we letting go of? What has held us back? What elements have created a weight for us to continue our journey? See the analogies we're putting into this? This is where we want to help people, where our capacity to achieve states of mind, higher consciousness, leaving out what we think is our dimension of truth, what we want to perceive, our perceptions, truth to be, and actually just aligning ourselves with the flat line of truth, of fact. Not the solipsism where we integrate with the line of truth as our low vibrations, low frequencies, and their longer waveforms cross the line at far greater intervals. When we raise our vibration, higher frequency, higher integration of the line of truth itself, the greater repetition of it. So enlightenment is a subject that I've been practicing and entertaining for at least 3 decades now, probably more, to be honest. Not that I ever thought that I could achieve it until I was educated in what it was. Meditation towards enlightenment, that's a presence. Meditating is not sitting down and saying Om, which is actually for most people pronounced incorrectly, because it's Om, not Om. So even in the ideas that we've been taught, where we see that they are not necessarily of fact, of truth, where's our vibration? How are we practicing solipsism? So the idea of achievement in life, we've been shown that you can't achieve what you want to achieve, you can't be what you want to be until you have everything that we keep selling you and telling you that you don't have for you to go out and get, which won't help you achieve anything other than debt. And we know there's plenty of that around. So where does our connection to ourselves, our journey, begin? Well, I could help you dramatically with astrology. And with astrology, we could dramatically integrate the tarot. And I could show you how the integrations of your astrology integrates with the decans of the tarot, and how they can help us understand where our planetary alignments, where our asteroid alignments, where our sun, moon, rising sign alignments, and even in terms of which ones you're going to look at to determine as to who you are at the core foundation. For instance, were you born at night or in the middle of the day? Daylight or nighttime? What rules you based on that? So again, further understanding, the greater understanding of what we let go of within ourselves. So there's an enlightenment in a material aspect where we downsize, where we minimalize, where we understand the need versus wants arguments. Then we take a look at that from our own collective consciousness, our subjective consciousness within, as opposed to the objective consciousness of objects, external. And these are facets that I think are important for us to recognize as we make transitions, because as we go to live a life of what this page was called sustainability property, a business of mine that is aimed to help people achieve off-grid designs, lifestyles with success, not just to go and do it or to attempt to do it or to take a 2-week intensive WEAK, TOO. We end up having a relationship to fact, reality. And from that, we actually integrate more, which is what I predominantly live as a whole. And this page has now taken on way more than just the idea of helping you be sustainable, because everybody's different. Everybody lives in a different area. Everybody has a different background. Everybody has a different interest, desire. So generalizing just doesn't work like that. You go to my website, you'll find out all the details in relation to how I can help you specifically. Because when we're dealing with long-term dreams, we're dealing with specifics. You want to know something from the tarot, you have to know what the question is you're asking. There's no generalization. If you're general, then you're common. If you want to be empowered, we have to be specific. So a little bit as I digress, as many planets are going to be ingressing, we'll want to be understanding certain elements of ourselves. What is it that I really need to let go within so that I can move forward as an individual? How can I enlighten my being from the baggage that I have carried, perhaps from generations, perhaps from past lives? Perhaps it's your soul's contract. And I can show you all of that within the astrological realms, within the tarot. The ideas of understanding oneself is far greater than what those that want to remain hidden in the occult will allow us to see. So, enlightenment. Enlighten me. The element of enlightenment is air, is lightness, is not the light. Okay, we're not chasing the sun, because quite honestly, we'll end up misguiding ourselves and also focusing on the shadow of the moon. I'm not saying that the moon is a shadowy aspect, but it does allow us to maybe ignore reflection and not want to see resemblance. So in principle, enlightenment is not about leaving a bigger shadow behind you because you're chasing the light. For all those light workers out there, you're way off. What we are enlightening ourselves in is we are enlightening ourselves. Perhaps if the enlightening aspect, enlighten, is to shed some light on what is within that we don't want to show people. Now, I'm the kind of individual that should be described with words that I shouldn't be using on social media. But they lead to the fact that I am unfuckwithable. Because I do not reference within me anything that you can't explain to me. I entirely own it all. I am the worst. I am the worst case scenario. I am also the best case scenario. The paradox of that, the polarity of that. And in that, luckily, born winter solstice, I've got Cancer balancing the two poles of Gemini. The tower of the Kabbalistic references, which again comes back to the tarot. So when you recognize that what they want you not to find is what we can actually share with you, then maybe you'll end up integrating in relation to it. And I reference that there's a lot of great readers out there. There's a lot of great astrologers out there, but I have yet to find more than maybe two that are going to draw in the elements into one of self, into understanding and inner standing, instead of the understanding which we have been shown to behave with, that will never really understand ourselves. So if you would like some information in this, you can reach me through the website, sustainabilityproperty.com. Because if you want to be sustainable in your lifestyle, you have to be sustainable in yourself. And to be sustainable in yourself, we have to be energy efficient. And all of the energy that goes into the denial of who we are is a waste. It's a little bit like not understanding planetary days and planetary hours, and not planning our weeks in relation to where the moon is in the zodiac, as we are focusing on the biodynamic nature of growing our lives in a cosmos. Now, I could go further and reach into these subjects a whole lot more, and if you'd like some more detail in relation to these specifically, please ask. Or link with me via the website so that you can have an opportunity to engage in something more specific rather than the generalization that I offer to the wider audience, as pinpoint specific as this mind is. From one Sigma male to the rest of the world, if we ruled the world would be okay again. Because we wouldn't be ruling from up above, we'd be ruling from within. We'd be taking an amount of energy that is the community's benefit and applying that as principle to the evolution of humankind, which is ultimately my entire life's work. So I'll leave you there now for the reasons of 13, which, if we go numerologically, we go back to number 4, which is highly stable and the foundation of where infinity comes from. Until next time, thanks for joining.